Good evening and welcome to the evening news. In the headlines, Maduro arrives, holds talks with President Ramatar. Airlift is major challenge affecting tourism, and diamond businesswoman robbed and murdered. I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us for your Saturday, August 31, 2013 edition of the evening news. Now for the details. Even as Caribbean governments have put forth a number of initiatives aimed at providing young people with basic skills and opportunities to find gainful work, much more still needs to be done, according to a major Washington-based think tank. The Council of Hemispheric Affairs notes that in 2012, nearly 75 million young people between the ages of 15 and 24 were unemployed worldwide, with 14.3% of them living in Latin America and the Caribbean. As a result, the COHA argues that at a time of considerable economic decline, youth entrepreneurship and careful monitoring of programs may be promising solutions because these measures provide young people with the means to be self-employed and to remain so for an extended period of time. President Donald Ramatar, cabinet ministers and members of the diplomatic corps earlier today welcomed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro for his first official visit since becoming president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Leanna Bradshaw reports.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro arrived on Saturday morning at the TVG International Airport, where he was greeted by a red carpet welcome by President Donald Ramatar and other officials. A parade of Ghana Defense Force soldiers then performed the two countries' national anthems, after which President Maduro reviewed the Guard of Honor of the Defense Force. President Donald Ramatar and Maduro then took to the Ghana International Conference Center to join the plenary of ministerial meeting, where they received reports from the high-level bilateral commission. There has been much hype and expectation leading up to the neighboring president's arrival in Guyana, especially by government ministers. 5 thematic areas were up for discussion as the presidents met. In June 2005, the late President Hugo Chavez launched PetroCaribe as a regional integration initiative. Guyana and Venezuela have built on progress in trade relations after signing off on rice exportation agreements that resulted in 30,000 metric tons of white rice at the cost of $800 per ton being exported to Venezuela in 2011. Additionally, 50,000 metric tons of paddy at the cost of $480 per ton were exported. The newly appointed Venezuelan president is in Ghana to engage in bilateral talks with President Ramatar and government officials as the two countries seek to strengthen ties and create new linkages. Reporting from the Ghana International Conference Center, I am Leanna Bradshaw.
Meanwhile, Guyana's PetroCaribe agreement with Venezuela is a boastful one, and Finance Minister Dr. Ashney Singh has touted the initiative at a recent high-level meeting with a Venezuelan delegation. More from Whitney Posot.
Ahead of his first ever state visit to Guyana by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, a high-level meeting was held in Guyana with a Venezuelan team to discuss the PetroCaribe agreement at the Ghana International Conference Center. Finance Minister Dr. Ashney Singh in his opening remarks said Guyana and Venezuela have enjoyed a very special relationship on the economic front and continue to share values and common positions at international forums. The prime example of the standing relationship is the PetroCaribe initiative, Dr. Singh pointed out.
And we can think of many examples of practical manifestations of the richness and strength of our relationship. Perhaps most prominently is, of course, the PetroCaribe initiative, which Senor Chavez and I were speaking about just a few minutes ago. An initiative conceived by President Hugo Chavez, and an initiative which proved to be tremendously transformational to the entire Caribbean region. Guyana is an appreciative beneficiary of the PetroCaribe initiative. And we regard this initiative as a good example of collaboration and cooperation for mutual benefit.
The initiative, he said, will be the foundation of strengthened relationship between the two countries, and Guyana looks forward with great excitement and anticipation. The Venezuelan Minister of Refining and Petrochemicals, during his address, also expressed great optimism ahead of the meeting. He said that the two presidents can work together for a common cause that would enhance the lives of both the Venezuelans and Guyanese. He had urged the technical teams to work earnestly to formalize proposals that can be placed on the table when President Ramotar and President Maduro congregate. In June of 2005, the late president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, launched PetroCaribe as an energy corporation agreement and the Regional Integration Initiative that provides secured and reliable access to energy sourced to developing countries. Guyana signed on to the agreement along with Antigua and Barbados, the Bahamas, Belize, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Grenada, Jamaica, Nicaragua, Suriname, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
Zara Holding, a U.S.-based Guyanese company, has honored the country's top 2 students at a recent Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate exams. The top students, Zamina Rashid and Yogita Prasad of the Anna Regina Multilateral School, were presented with learning packages which included books and laptops by the company's consultant, Naresh Singh. The presentation was made at a simple ceremony at the Zara Computer Center at Sadi on the Essequibo coast. Singh said the students have made Guyana proud, more so Region 2, by demonstrating no matter the background, one can excel at the highest level. He urged the students to continue to think big and stay focused in achieving their goals. On that note, he wished them well in their future endeavors. In light of Amerindian Heritage Month being launched on Sunday, the Culture, Youth and Sport Ministry on Friday hosted a special program in commemoration of the month where initiatives to preserve the people's customs were highlighted. Sabatini Daniels reports.
Culture Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said during the month of celebrations, Amerindians and by extension Guyanese should be proud of the achievements made in safeguarding the people's heritage and advancing their lives. He was at the time speaking at the annual event which is hosted in the compound of his ministry.
I think we should use the occasion not just to celebrate, but to have an introspection on how we can learn from our indigenous community, because there's so much that we can learn from them.
Dr. Anthony disclosed that with the help of overseas researchers, his ministry was able to unearth in the Berbice area findings which indicate that indigenous civilization in that area dates back to about 3,000 years before Christ. The culture minister said his office has also been working to develop the various Amerindian languages, adding that it has been able to reprint 7 Amerindian language dictionaries. He stated that it is busy working to develop the other 2 languages.
Our intention is, once these 2 dictionaries are completed, is to print a complete series. So we'll have all 9 dictionaries and put them together so that people can benefit from what is there.
The ministry is working on compiling all stories from various communities, which it hopes to document and publish. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Meanwhile, the People's National Congress Reform has extended greetings to the indigenous community as it celebrates Heritage Month 2013. The party in a release said it takes pride in its association with the many activities which are being held by the indigenous peoples of Guyana during Heritage Month to showcase their talents in all their richness and significance and to popularize their various art forms, cuisine, and herbal medicines. The PNCR, while acknowledging the many programs directed at improving the lives of the indigenous peoples of Guyana, said more still needs to be done to satisfactorily improve the lives of the indigenous population. The PNCR release said, and I quote, "Immediate attention needs to be paid to the provision of adequate natural resources in these communities, especially for education, health, and transportation," end quote. Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana President Kit Nascimento says the major challenge for tourism in Guyana is securing reliable airlift in and out of the country. Here's Sabatini Daniels with the details.
TAG's President Kit Nascimento stated that Caribbean Airlines CAL is basically the only airline which is servicing the country, hence this poses a huge hindrance to the overall development of the tourism sector. He was at the time speaking during an interview with this newscast at the Century Palm Gardens Durban Backlands office.
CAL are a regional airline that fly internationally. They're not an internationally branded airline. We need an internationally branded airline. Not one, but many coming into this country. I know that the Minister responsible for tourism, Efanali, is working hard at that. And he has included the private sector recently.
The TAG president disclosed that at the recently held tourism expositions in New York and Canada, there were hundreds of Guyanese who said they would like to visit Guyana, but the prices for tickets to Guyana and back to their destination are too expensive. Turning his attention to TAG, he noted that it will be looking to persuade a number of major corporations in the country to understand the role of TAG in terms of developing the country's tourism industry.
TAG is an important lobbying organization, both with the government and internationally. We are also an important marketing organization, a private marketing organization. When tourism flourishes, every corporate member in this country flourishes. Tourism is a trade for which the entire economy and all the participation in the economy benefits. So we feel that major corporations in the country should be supportive of TAG, and I will be going to see a number of them.
Nascimento said TAG will also continue to encourage President Donald Ramotar to appoint Irfan Ali, who has been acting for the past 2 years, to the post of Tourism Minister since he has been doing a great job. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
At about 1:15 yesterday, police say that Brazilian miner Jose Alves Silva, aged 43, was driving an ATV along the trail at Bokhol, Essequibo when he served from an oncoming vehicle and crashed. He suffered injuries and was taken to the Saudi hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Investigations are in progress. Meanwhile, a Diamond East Bank Demerara businesswoman was today robbed and murdered. Bisham Mohammed was on the scene.
48-year-old Simrati Ramnares of Lot 2430 21st Avenue Diamond Housing Scheme East Bank Demerara was found about 10 hours this morning lying face down in her office area located close to her garage. The entire bottom flat of the house was completely drenched with kerosene oil, while the woman's head was bashed in and a gaping wound to her throat. Her left hip was also dislocated and her house was ransacked. The perpetrators also set alight a bomb that bagged the house, which was completely destroyed. They then escaped in the woman's motor car, which was found abandoned on the public road at Liliendal, East Coast, Demerara. The Evening News also understands that the recording from the surveillance cameras were missing, which evidently points to an inside job. There were no signs of forced entry, and the woman's house is secured with high-grilled fence and an alarm system which, according to neighbors, did not go off. At the scene, relatives and curious onlookers were gathered, while police took more than 5 hours to complete their preliminary investigations. The woman's reputed husband, Police Sergeant Colin Bailey, was being questioned by his colleagues. A sister of the dead woman, who was inconsolable, vented her frustration at the scene.
I got a phone call from my brother that my sister died, that's all, and I'm here to see her, and up to now I can't see her. And I want to know why the reason I can't see my sister. I'm the eldest. We don't have a mom, we don't have a dad. Why is it they can't allow us to see our sister?
Nevertheless, this newscast was told that the woman's body was found by a handy boy who works for the woman. He reportedly called out to neighbors, informing them that Ramnares fell and hit her head. Neighbors rushed to the house but realized it was more than a fall, hence they summoned the police, who took a while to arrive on the scene. A few minutes after the discovery, smoke was seen emanating from the back of the house. The fire tenders responded promptly and prevented the house from exploding. The woman's remains were taken to the Likens Funeral Home. She is survived by her 3 siblings and only son. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
An inmate of the New Amsterdam prison is in a serious condition after he was stabbed twice to his chest by another inmate during a brawl over a mobile phone at the facility on Friday. The act was committed at about 14:05. Romel Krishna, aged 23, of Alnes Village, Quarantine Berbice, who is a convicted prisoner on a murder charge, is now a patient at the New Amsterdam Hospital and is said to be in a stable but serious condition. His attacker, Jason McKenzie, aged 26, of Carriage Road, Rosignol, West Coast, Berbice, who is also a convicted criminal, was rearrested and placed in a confinement cell pending investigations and further charges. It is possible that he will be charged with causing malicious and grievous bodily harm to Krishna. Ahead of the new academic year 2013-2014, approximately 150 students benefited from school supplies donated by Rubis Guyana Incorporated. More from Whitney Prasad.
Rubis Guyana Incorporation says the school supply distribution activity is one that seeks to meet the needs of children by advancing their education. On Friday, the incorporation presented school supplies to the Child Care and Protection Agency for the boys and girls between the ages of 4 and 17 at the Sophia Care and the drop-in centers. Rubis Retail Accounts Executive Rhonda Johnson presented the supplies, which included haversacks, water bottles, book covers, pencils, and pens. She said Rubis recognizes the benefits and value of a sound education.
We understand its transformative effects and its transformative ability, and we know that it is one of the mechanisms to catapult a person from their current socio-economic strata to another. And so this morning, we want to exhibit, or we want to, in a tangible way, show our appreciation for, I shouldn't even say appreciation, but show our support rather, in advancing education.
Agency Deputy Director of Children's Services, Teresa Game, during her address advocated for further support from other agencies as a social obligation, noting that children in residential care who lack the necessary parental support need the assistance and attention. She said the agency cannot do it alone. As such, she sounded a support call.
We are still calling on persons to come in and foster children. We have a number of children who are waiting support in terms of fostering. We all agree, and as a policy of the agency, we believe that residential care is a last resort, and we certainly are not in support of the fact that the number of children who are in residential care still are there. So we need as much support as possible for families to step in. This year, the foster care month is coming up in November, actually, and we've already started planning for that month.
To date, there are in excess of 800 abused and abandoned children cramped into 23 children homes, predominantly in regions 4 and 6. For the evening news, Whitney Prasad.
A watchman was taken into police custody after he was found with a quantity of cannabis and cocaine on Friday at the Quarantine Coast. Acting on information, police raided the house of Mark Jeffrey, aged 37, of number 65 Village Quarantine, with the intention of searching for arms, ammo, narcotics, drugs, and stolen articles. Reports received stated that during the search, a black plastic bag, allegedly comprising 11 Ziploc transparent plastic bags containing leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis, and 16 of the said type of bags containing a hard whitish substance suspected to be cocaine were discovered. These substances were shown to him, and he allegedly claimed to be a single parent and is trying to make ends meet. He was told of the offense committed, cautioned, arrested, and taken to the number 51 police station, where the suspected drugs were weighed in his presence and amounted to 16 grams of cannabis and 11 grams of cocaine. Guyana's Sunni Muslim school, the Madrasa Noorani, has formalized plans for the establishment of a branch at the Marcus Alishan Theological Institute of Higher Islamic Education of Trinidad and Tobago, to be based at the famed Anna Catherine Islamic Complex, the ACIC. The Madrasa Noorani was established in September 2003 at the ACIC. The deal was confirmed by Principal of the Institute, Maulana Dr. Wafi Muhammad, when he visited Guyana earlier this month. Markaz Al-Hissan was established in 2000 as a theological institute to provide quality higher Islamic education from the fundamentals of Islam to the tertiary level. It also offers courses in some of the specialized areas of Islamic knowledge. It is committed to the dissemination of Islamic knowledge and in assisting in the cultivation of a refined life for every individual based on Quranic guidance and on the traditions of Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace. This is the evening news. Now for a look at sport, which is sponsored by Macorp. In the headlines, Greaves wins TGM Young cycling feature, TNT Red Force beat Guyana in first warm-up game, and England level T20 series with Australia. Now for the details. We start with some cycling news. Alonzo Greaves continued his dominant form in 2013 by winning the feature race at the 37th annual TGM Young cycling program, which wrapped up today at the National Park. Competing in the 35-lap Schoolboys and Invitational race, Greaves clocked 1 hour, 17 minutes, 12.79 seconds to outgun Reynard Jeffrey, who had to settle for the second position. Warren McKay, Hamza Eastman, Alex Mendez, and Raymond Newton completed the top 6 in that order among the 22 starters. Other winners of the day included Sherwin Sampson, Rashidi Series, Daniel Fraser, Adrian Sharma, Jamal John, Junior Niles, Virgil Jones, Maurice Fagundes, Hamza Eastman, and Clyde Jacobs. Football news. The inaugural Gold football tournament will culminate with the final tomorrow evening at the Georgetown Football Club ground border. Alpha United Football Club will meet Slingers Football Club in what is a rematch of the Mayor's Cup final, in which Alpha United came out as winners. Prior to the men's final, Bartica will take on Georgetown in the women's final of the tournament. Action is set to kick off at 18 hours 30, and the Mexican ambassador to Guyana, Francisco Olguin, will be present for the traditional kickoff. Some cricket news. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force defeated Guyana by 12 runs on Friday evening in the first of two warm-up games at the Guyana National Stadium. Batting first, the visitors posted 134 for 7 from the allotted 20 overs, with Lyndall Simmons 34 and Nicholas Puran 33 being the main scorers. Veerasamy Permaul and Krishmar Santoki claimed 2 wickets each for Guyana, who replied with 123 for 7 when the overs finished. Leon Johnson made a battling 41, while Christopher Barnwell hit a breezy 22. The two warm-up games are being played to give the TNT Red Force much-needed practice in preparation for the upcoming Champions League T20 in India in September. Further afield, Alex Hales scored a blistering 94 as England beat Australia by 27 runs to draw their T20 series 1-all. Hales and Nottinghamshire teammate Michael Lumb, 43, put on 111 for the first wicket to help propel England to 195 for 5, with Fawad Ahmed taking 3 for 25. Opener David Warner's 52 of 43 balls kept Australia in contention well into the run chase, but Jade Dernbach took 3 wickets as the tourists collapsed from 111 for 3 to end well short on 168 for 9. And finally, Pakistan defeated Zimbabwe by 108 runs to win their 3-match series 2-1 in Harare. With the series level 1-all, Pakistan batted first and posted 260 for 6, with Misbah ul Haq 67 and Ahmed Shahzad 54 posting half-centuries. In reply, Zimbabwe's innings never got going as they were dismissed for 152 with exactly 10 overs to spare. Malcolm Waller hit 48, with Mohammad Hafiz, Abdur Rahman and Saeed Ajmal taking 2 wickets apiece. And with that, we've come to the end of sport. Of course, you can find these stories and more in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times. And here's an invitation to join us on TVG Guyana and on Radio Guyana Inc. 89.3 in Essequibo, 89.5 in George and Environs, and 89.7 in Berbice and Unicary, Suriname. On the evening news, we now take a look at your bridge reports. The Damrar Harbour Bridge will be closed on Sunday, September 1 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Sunday, September 1 at 13 hours 25 for a period of 1.5 hours. And with that, we've come to the end of the evening news for Saturday, August 31, 2013. I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching.